Hello everybody and welcome to COASTCAST episode number 4. And we have the brilliant Ryan Young from Supermax Creative and also the brilliant band Club Paradise in the studio with us today, and he's going to join us for the full pod. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing? Nice to be here.
We're doing all right. We're quite enjoying doing these podcasts, and we get quite a few listeners, which is borderline embarrassing because you don't know what you're saying and stuff like that. And people that can hear your points of view, but also absolutely brilliant. So I think what we decided we're going to do today is we are going to talk about our favourite gigs, and then we are going to talk to Ryan about his brilliant design work, what he did for COASTFest this year, and also all about his music. So, should we get started with John on his first gig? Sorry, first gig, his best gig. Sorry.
Best gig. I've been to that many gigs. Two that stand out, and they were both actually because of the same song. But I went to see, when I lived in London about 25 years ago, and I went to see Wyclef Jean in Brixton Academy. And I wasn't sure how it would be, because I liked his music, to listen to on CDs and whatever, but I wasn't sure how it would translate live. Oh my God, it was so good. There was this one point in the gig where he passed a chair, just a normal chair, out into the audience, and he said, right, hold that, and I want you to hold it as tightly as possible, don't let it go. And then he just stepped off the stage onto this chair, with 4 people just holding this chair like that.
Is he a big guy?
I don't know. I was at the back, so.
Oh, I've got in my head
compared
that
to
he's a
John,
big guy.
He looked quite small to me. Yeah, compared to me, it's a fucking giant. But he stepped onto this chair, and the audience were holding it. And then the spotlight came onto him, and he sang Bob Marley Redemption songs.
Nice.
Just literally him and his guitar. And I was like, when you get shivers down your spine and everything, I was like, oh my God, this is magnificent. And then he jumped back on the stage, and he jumped off the stage, ran all the way through the audience to the back of the academy, and climbed the lighting rig. And I wasn't sure whether his manager was going to go off it with him, but he just climbed this lighting rig, and then sang his next song. And, for about 10 minutes, I was just like, my God, this guy's just amazing. You know what I mean?
Scares the shit out of me.
Every time I hear the name Wyclef Jean, it always reminds me of his lad. I used to know about it when I was a kid. There used to be a street next door to mine called Wycliffe Close, and he was called John. He used to go around school calling himself Wyclef John. Every time I hear his name, it always comes back, and I remember that kid. I wonder what he's doing now.
I used to really, really I used to like the Fugees as well, so when he went solo.
That album, was it? The score?
Yeah.
The album is a phenomenal piece of work, isn't it?
She's, Lauren Hill?
Lauren Hill.
She's just an amazing singer.
Sister Act 2. Amazing.
Yeah. But then I went to see Tracy Chapman at Manchester Apollo. It's probably about 15 years ago or something like that, and she was doing a just hair and guitars, so she had no band, no backing at all, so it was very intimate. And I like Tracy Chapman. I like a lot of her stuff, but I don't stick it on. You know what I mean? Because quite
It's mellow, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
My last prop, I loves it. Just sticks it on the car all the time. Just sings every word back to back. A fast car song. It's the most famous one.
I mean, I love her. She's fantastic, and I'm putting it down as one of my favourite ever gigs. But she played this whole gig just with various guitars, just on her own, and it was so good. You could hear a pin drop for the whole concert. And then at the end of it, she said, "I'm gonna do a poem by my favourite poet now." And I thought, I was like, she's going to go all arty friggin' farty and do this poem, and I'm going to be like, oh, that spoilt it for me, you know what I mean? And then she started playing the opening riff of Redemption songs, and I was like, fucking hell, yeah, why wouldn't that be classed as a poem, you know what I mean? And literally, I got goosebumps then thinking about it. It was so good, so good. So quite pretty out there, Wyclef Jean and
good
Chapman,
choices.
you know what I mean?
Good choice. What about you, Ryan? What's the best gig you've ever been to?
It's such a hard question, and it's Shan that you've asked me, to come on the podcast and give yourself such a big question, Shan. But I think
Just make it up.
I know.
That's what we do on most
Well,
of the podcasts.
first of all, I'm going to pull you up on your poetry comment because at COASTCAST, Future Heads did the best medieval poem you've ever heard.
Oh,
and
that was
next
a real
level. I'm here for the arty-farty. But I think like maybe the one that stuck out in my head like as soon as you said the question was I saw Phoebe Bridgers at Barrowlands in Glasgow. And it was
It's a great venue, that.
Oh,
It's like proper spit and sawdust in it, but it's great.
it reminds you of like going into Metroland. You know what I mean? With the big logo and all that sort of stuff. So it was so cool. I'd never been to Glasgow before. So that was mint as well. And we were there and it was like the height of summer and it was just as we were coming out wearing masks and everything. And Phoebe had just come off doing a North American tour and then they had like a big sign up being like wear masks if you can and all this sort of stuff because they didn't want to quarantine.
What a time, man.
Oh man, it was weird and it was like our first gig I'd been to in years because of it all.
Yeah.
So that was like a really like spine tingling gig to go to for that reason. But yeah, there's a few. The most emotional one would be like Pine Grove or someone like that in Liverpool. That was amazing. And then like I think
That's a nice place to go.
yeah, it's lovely, mate. You got a nice little town. And then like a weird one this year there was I went to see Don Broco and the singer Papa Roach came out and did thug work out with them, so that was like a weird thing of being like I wish I was 14 still, but actually I'm 27 and I'm loving this just as much, and that was absolutely mint. Yeah, so there's a couple.
Nice one, man. So, Rachel, I mean, being in a relationship with the person you've been in a relationship with, you've probably been to 1,000,001 gigs at festivals and stuff like that.
Well, you only ever see snippets though.
Aye.
There's not really a time where I get to stand and watch a full set.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a lie. I watched the Vaccines and they were unreal. And who was the other one? Oh, Tudor Cinema Club. They were so good live.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Where
expecting
was
it.
that? See that many you can't remember?
I feel like it was Bordies,
Oh, is it?
I think. Don't quote us on it 'cause I'm not too sure.
It's probably pissed with scraped knees again.
I'm pretty sure it was Bordies.
But if you had to choose one, what would be your
I'm going
favourite
to
gig?
lose loads of street cred here. Like.
Oh, go on then. You lost loads of street cred with your first record you
I know,
bought last week.
know.
That wasn't on the podcast, by
That's
the way.
not on an A podcast.
So, why am I embarrassed for, man? I love Celine Dion, right? And so does my mum. And when I lived in Spain, I was like so sick of my life. I thought, what can I do like to get us excited for going home? And she released like this big tour that she hasn't done for years and years. And I thought, oh great, I'll get my mum a surprise ticket. And for me, it ended up costing us like 500 quid for
What?
2 tickets, right?
I bought some for Sarah as well. I think it was
Jesus.
down London. They were like 150 quid each for her
It
and I
was
mate.
so expensive, but it was in Manchester. It was in the arena. So then I obviously came home, was dead excited to go to the arena with my mum, and then the whole bombings happened.
Oh.
So everybody got their money back, but instead of just like having the tickets transferred to a different venue, you had to fight for them again. So I had to go through the whole thing of like fighting for my place, and I ended up paying more money for shitter seats. Like we were in the sticks in Leeds Arena. I don't know if you've ever been, but it's like huge. Yeah. And we were literally right at the top, but had the best night of my life because she's so funny. Like she's a proper comedian. So she would sing a couple of songs and then she would go off and do like some weird comedy act. And then like just start shouting at all our crew, but obviously they were all in on it. But she's just great.
Which is obviously amazing because for the length of career what she's had, like obviously
and
she's
the price of
brilliant.
her tickets.
Yeah, I know.
Probably only beaten by like Taylor Swift or something.
Yeah, it's pretty mental. I'm trying to think of maybe like a cooler one.
Yeah, you need a cooler one.
No, that's it. Now you're locked in, Celine Dion.
Do you know what? Right, so
I know what you'll have. That yours are gonna be equally as shit.
What was it? What was it last week when you said when someone said the first record they bought was Mark Bolan, T-Rex.
Oh yeah.
And
that was Kieran.
Yeah,
Oh,
Kieran.
yeah.
He said that, and you went, yeah, that was my first record. Well, actually, I got Gina G before that.
Hey, I'd love to see Gina G live. She'd only do one song though, and that would be
Get that booked.
No, thank you.
But I think the
500 quid of anyone's money.
I think the other person I would say, well, band is, I think we talked about it maybe a couple of weeks ago, but it was really unexpected last year at Lindisfarne. We had Rudimental booked as a headliner, and I just thought it was two guys with like DJ decks that are just so ignorant of us, and I just thought, oh well, if I get to see them, I'll get to see them. If I don't, I'm not going to be that bothered about it. And then seeing what they came with and all of the instruments, and I thought, oh, this is a bit different to what I thought it was going to be. And honest to God, I was front of stage, on someone's shoulders the whole time, living my best life because they were so good.
Well, I was kind of expecting you to say that because over the past year, obviously, when we've been organising our festival, you've mentioned that rudimental performance at least 10 or 15 times
can't
to
stop
us.
talking about it. It was unreal. Like it was.
But it's great when you go to see someone. I mean, I'm gonna get onto a similar kind of thing when I go through my best ever gig. But it's great when you go somewhere not expecting it to be that good, and you go come away absolutely buzzing because it was amazing.
I was totally ignorant to what it was that I was about to watch, and then I swear there was like 12 of them on stage. And I thought, oh my god, I'm not even into this like kind of music, but it was just sick. The whole thing was great.
Yeah. Well, you're right though, John, because I've been to loads of gigs where I've been really, really looking forward to it. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I love this band or whatever, and then got there and been like, you were a bit shit, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Dead disappointed by it. Yeah, I remember going to see Counting Crows actually in Newcastle.
Don't.
Yeah, yeah. Seriously, I ended
only
up
just started to love them and appreciate them.
No, honestly, because I love Counting Crows, but I was so excited, and I went to see them. What's it called in Newcastle now? It's like
NX.
Yeah, it's called NX now.
I thought they would be a bit big for.
Nah, I went to see them in there,
yeah.
and I was so excited, and then I was like, oh god, these are absolutely shit. And I ended up, it was when I think Barcelona beat Man United in the Champions League. I ended up following that on my phone while they were singing. I was that bored, you know? Yeah, it was awful. So it is usually the bands that you don't expect to be like blow you away.
Maybe it's because you hype yourself up. Me and Dean did that. We hyped ourselves up for a band and then went to see them play in NX. But it was, what was it called?
It was the Academy. Well, it was a Colin Academy then, though. Academy, and now
and
it's
we went
NX,
to go see them, and I was so excited, and we left halfway through.
Did you?
Who was that? Have you allowed? Do you want to say?
I don't know.
Go
I'm allowed
on,
to
say. Yeah.
You're allowed to,
That's
but
like
it depends on
a-
how you reckon it's going
It's
to
alright.
Was it?
Yeah, it was
Reef.
And
Oh, wow.
We were so gutted.
We've only got one tune anyway, haven't they?
Well, that's the only thing I'd waited for, though, but even that was shit. Like,
It's your letters.
If you flip it on his head though, like I went to see Declan McKenna.
He's amazing.
At the City Hall, and I really, really loved. It was when the album Zeros came out, and I really loved the album, but I wasn't sure what to expect because I didn't really know much other than like the other big song, which everyone knew. I can't remember it now. Brazil. I'd only known that song, and I loved this album. Went to see it, and he was doing the Can you swear?
Yeah.
He's doing the fucking bleep test on stage, right? Like, literally, he's in a sequin purple suit, and like he's just doing the bleep test perfectly side to side of City Hall during the bridge of this song, and then he gets right back at the top of the stage again, sits behind his piano, continues as if now just fucking happened, and I was just like, what, this guy? And then he picks up his guitar, shreds, off he goes, and I was like, nah, I'm not having this. This is unbelievable. It was the best. Like that might be my best gig actually. Just bleep tests.
The worst thing ever in school becomes your best ever gig.
Exactly. It's an iconic move if you can pull it off on stage.
How well then, Christopher? I cannot wait for this one.
I was going to say, we're doing the bleep test for the kids tomorrow at football, so that's going to be fun.
I bet you don't do it though.
I'm not doing it. See how fast I can go to the bar and back. I'm generic, so generic.
Come on then.
It's boring as shit.
I bet it's either a Coldplay or something like that.
oh no, don't.
Oh, actually, nah.
Tell you what, I did go to a Coldplay gig at Stadium of Light
I was there, Stadium
once,
of
and
Light.
it lashed it doing for the full thing, and it was actually kind of good. I
Yeah,
got a last
Is
minute
it
ticket
the
for it.
music or is it the production?
Aye. Well, we had them daft wristbands on, which can flash you
The
down.
whole stadium lights up at
off
certain
any of
times.
that, man.
That was on my birthday. I know because I didn't get a ticket.
Did you want a ticket?
I just remember the taxi
I'm
driver
really
wouldn't
sorry.
let us in the taxi because we were too wet afterwards. It absolutely hammered it down the whole time.
Well,
See, to a Coldplay gig anyway. Apparently.
All right, so it's not Coldplay. What is it then?
I have seen them. I've only seen them once before. They were before Yellow. And they were Lush at uni.
oh,
That's
right, it was at
ultimate
Enemy Tour or
hipster.
something.
They were supporting Muse, I think. Oh no, I've watched them headline there as well. We went,
Fucking Pueblo.
yeah. Chris Martin. For
No,
me,
you.
it was only me, I was just waving
You've
at
seen
it,
Coldplay more than once.
generically, Oasis, City Manchester Stadium.
I'm not about this, like.
It was the
Why you not? You've got to be about Oasis.
I'm
No,
not about
not
Oasis.
that
in the
gig was just
slightest.
I'm not
unreal.
about
Like,
Oasis.
it was Turn Up the Sun started within 5 seconds. They stopped and said, "Look, you all need to take a step 10 meters back because the whole front just caved in." It's on YouTube if you want to watch it. But I was right at the back anyway because want to be close to the toilets in the bar.
like the old man you are.
Well, I don't want. Well, I was 22, so I was still old then.
Yeah, old man.
So I just didn't want to be. Plus the support, and I wasn't a fan of the support. Everybody else was. I was the only one out of 15 kids. I just thought. So I stood at the back, drinking my pints, and then when Oasis came on, I took a few steps forward. Then when the whole thing collapsed, I was like, well, I'm fine where I'm standing. It's their problem, not mine. But it started again. But the whole gig, one real long day, but Oasis.
You're not making this sound like the best day.
You mean it's like a disaster?
Yeah.
Like, I personally
Everyone
don't
fell
wanna
over.
be
I stood at the back.
It was a long day. There was 15 kids. I didn't like the
I
support. The
stood at
barrier
the back
broke.
with a pint,
I was near the toilets.
but that's the best gig I've ever
To
been
be fair,
to.
though, I reckon that's proper enthusiasm from
Yeah.
Chris. Like,
By Chris's standard, it's
I've been to 5
enthusiastic.
gigs. I don't go to gigs. I'm not a massive fan of crowds, so I just normally just stand at the back anyway. Apart from, this is getting even worse now, my second favourite was the NX Arena again, but I think it was 02. Would have been that time we went to watch Sam, and we bought that dodgy ticket. I didn't get us in.
Oh shit!
We
Yeah.
bought the ticket for next year.
So basically, so there was 2 gigs announced, 2 dates I think, and we had.
Where for? The O2?
yeah.
I'm not 100%. Must have been.
You were saying you rang us the other day and you said, "Do you want it?
dates,
Like,
yeah,
I've got a ticket. Do you want it? It's 40 quid." I was like, "Right, let's do it. Let's go." So I picked you up. We drove to this house. You went, got it, got the ticket. We came here for a couple of drinks. This is when Alfie's was tiny, when it was little.
Yeah.
God, so long ago. And then we got there. You got scanned in. Somebody else got scanned in. I want to get scanned in, and they went, "No, that's next year's ticket." I was like, "Oh, no."
It was a ticket for the gig after.
following year.
It was next year.
But the geezer on the door, Ronnie, who's an absolute legend, by the way, I don't know why he likes me so much, because when I used to be in a band, I used to fucking terrorise the life out of him, right? He just set off the fire alarms in the academy and all sorts, right? But he proper looks after me all the time, and he was
straight
just,
swap, didn't we,
he just went, oh yeah, and then he sorted it out in the end, so all got in. That was meant that. I've totally forgot that was a great night.
That was lush night, but the best thing about it was, apart from obviously watching like Sam coming up and that, was it was no shields in one place, so you knew everybody.
Oh, I love them.
You
type of
couldn't
gigs,
go
man.
anywhere without knowing someone. It was just
That was like St. James, man. It was like a one big family party. I loved it.
Oh,
I
it was
feel like
lush.
we've done him a disservice by not saying.
I'm really like bitter about the St. James thing though, because I tried my hardest to get tickets, right? And I swear to God, I tried like everything. I couldn't get one. But so I will forever die a bitter man for missing.
Well, I was very lucky in the way I got my ticket, because I wasn't successful in getting a ticket either, but through a couple of people who I know who won't thank us for saying, like, I managed to get on a paid guest list kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I've
It
managed to.
makes you feel better. I didn't have a ticket, and I thought I'd
You
have been fine.
didn't. You didn't have a ticket.
No.
I remember you going, I haven't even got my ticket. It was like 2 days to go. I was like,
Yeah,
what
and
the
then I
fuck?
was like, oh, it'll be fine. And then Dean was like,
It's like
I think I might have cocked up a little bit. And I thought, oh, for God's sake.
it's not even really like the same as when you go and play a gig at the Cluny though, because you can't just like load in with the band. Do you know what I mean? Like they've got trucks, just in the trucks with all the gear.
It worked out in the end, like, but
I'll go in like Ed Sheeran in one of the flight cases.
Halfway through AC/DC, you burst through the stage.
I'm here.
Are we on to me?
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
on to you.
I'm not 100% sure if it's my favourite gig ever, but it's definitely one of my most memorable ones. It was went with my cousin Graham to Glastonbury in 2008, and it was the year when Jay-Z headlined, and beforehand Noel Gallagher had been in the press, like basically rinsing him and all that, saying like it's like Glastonbury's like a guitar music festival, not a rap music festival. And I was like, obviously love Noel Gallagher. I was like kind of like going along with, it's going to be pure shit and all that. But we've got tickets, we'll go and see him anyway. But Glastonbury were dead clever. They closed down all of the other stages. So if you wanted to go and watch some music, you had to go and watch Jay-Z, basically. And he came on, and he started like, he brought a guitar out, and he was like, did like a Wonderwall parody thing, and I went, oh, yeah, we can. And then he just dropped it in 99%, 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. The whole place just went fucking bananas when the whole place erupted. I was like, this is the best gig ever. No, but it was mint, but I'll never forget that. Like, that was like kind of, we were knackered, we couldn't be arsed and all that, because obviously you've been at Glastonbury all weekend and all that, getting up to all sorts of mischief. And then when that it was that moment when he kicked into that song as his first song of the set, where I was like, you know, like the hairs up on the back of your neck, and you couldn't help but put your arms in the air. It was amazing, like, was amazing. Yeah, so I think that's probably one of my favourite gigs, but I've been to that many of them. I kind of just single out, like I'd be on forever.
It'll be when we go away, we'll be like,
that gig wasn't it?
Yeah. Even as we're going around, I'm going, I remember that gig now. I remember that. I'm seeing Passenger in Edinburgh.
Oh, I would love to have seen.
Oh my God, he was so good. And then at the end, he did "Scare Away the Dark," and it finishes oh like that, and he goes off, and the crowd carried on singing. And this was he'd done his encore and finished with that song, but the crowd wouldn't stop singing this like, and he came back on. He did another encore because literally it was like, it must have seemed
What's
about 5 minutes.
You don't hear about.
He's still making albums. I think he had an album out earlier on this year, but
just quiet.
yeah, it's not. I mean, he had his big single, didn't he? Let It Go or whatever.
Yeah, he was like
He's not
2013 hype, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's not really had anything big since then, but he tours constantly,
goes,
and
yeah.
he brings. I think he's bringing out about 2 albums a year.
So good.
Oh, really?
It's really good. Like,
Oh, we're not doing 2. You're missing one.
yeah, you are missing one. Have you got any
Oh,
more?
we're doing 2. Oh, Jesus, he puts our foot. We're just
Your
doing one.
idea.
I know it was my idea. I tell you what, though, it probably wasn't one of my favourite gigs ever, but I was lucky enough to blag a guest, Eva Kendall, calling a couple of weekends ago, right? And we just went up on the Sunday, and I'd seen The Enemy before, right? And I thought, I say to Sarah, I can't tell where we're going to watch The Enemy. It was lashing, doing. We managed to get in the back of the tent and all that. And they were absolutely amazing. Like, I'm not going to say it's like the best gig I've ever been to, but it was just like they just
Good one.
tore the place apart, and I really want to get them for Coast Fest. Like, I really want them, and I've already been speaking to the agent, but maybe it's in a couple of years.
Do you know who I would love to get, but it's definitely not plausible? Vampire Weekend. It was so good.
Well, they're American for a kick-off,
It
aren't they?
was so good.
Also, do you know like the relationship between the singer Ezra and Quincy Jones?
No.
So Rashida Jones, the actress, is Quincy Jones's daughter. Ezra from Vampire Weekend is married to Rashida Jones. So now the singer of Vampire Weekend's father-in-law produced Michael Jackson.
That's so mad.
Mental.
Isn't that mint? I was like, I was done for days when I seen that. Mate.
It sounds like one of those 7 degrees of separation stories.
It's a bit
They
like,
were so
what's
good
the name
though.
going out with Taylor Swift for about a day?
Who was it?
Tim Healy's son.
Matty Healy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, his parents are from around here, aren't they?
The jump from like being just like, you know, kid from Shields, and then all of a sudden the link to Taylor Swift, like the link from there to like Quincy Jones.
We should do an episode on that, the 7 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
And we've got to work out the 7 degrees of separation to somebody and how we can find them.
Rachel's is one from everyone.
We'll do I know.
Not allowed to be on that episode at all.
Well, you're away in a couple of weeks' time, aren't you?
Yeah, do it when I'm not here.
Yeah, we'll do it when you're not. Yeah. And 1 degree.
I don't mean to be like this, you know. It's actually embarrassing. I'll be at work and someone will be like, oh, such and such. And I'm like, oh, God, I used to work with him, or I'm really good friends with him. And it's getting embarrassing now. My God, see.
We had a Sunday dinner in the Archers one day. We're just sitting, chilling, watching. I was going to say watching the match, we shouldn't have been. But I went, "Who's the most famous person in your phone book, John?" And he went, "Why? Who's yours?" I was like, "Oh, Kieran Bow."
Bless him.
I'm friends with Dean on Facebook, if that counts. Like, John was going through his phone. He went, "Steve Redgrave."
Oh yeah, I've got Steve Redgrave's number before. You know, the rower. Used to work at a rowing club a few years ago.
These things off, and I was like, nah. Famous people
Can't win with that one.
Yeah.
I don't have
just
anyone on
you-
my phone because I don't answer it.
That's my.
I know you don't.
I really, really don't.
So that's my separation thing. My friend knows somebody else.
I don't know Steve Redgrave. I've
got his
spoken to him
number, mate.
once on the
Text
phone
him.
and I saved his number.
So doesn't like go rowing with him every Sunday or anything.
Come round me, Mars, for Sunday dinner.
That's how he's done his back end.
Out
with Steve on the
FaceTime,
phone.
bring him down, see if he's standing up or sitting down.
Definitely not. Anyway, shall we move on and we will get on chatting to Ryan about the amazing artwork what he did for Coast Fest this year. If you're watching the pod, we are watching the pod this week. We're not just listening to it. Yeah, if you're watching or listening to the pod, you will have probably seen our amazing artwork for Coast Fest this year. and Ryan was the person who designed it all. So on behalf of me and Rachel in particular, I would like to thank you very much for that, because it really brought our festival to life.
Yeah, it's had a character, brand, and it just felt good.
Andy's coming back next year to do it all again.
But
So,
those mascots, man, those, like,
Yeah.
every single one of them. Like,
So-
where did that come from? Like, can we talk about that first? Like, where did...
Yeah, for sure. So I think when I just messaged John, being like, I see you doing this festival. If you need a hand on anything, let me know. Would love to create something for it.
Bet you regret that now.
Yeah.
We'll get on to that.
But
Everyone who fucking volunteered fucking regrets it.
Sorry.
But when I spoke to John, there was a 90s band. Remember, like the first iteration of who was going to be booked for a headliner, there was a 90s band, and I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but I would decide like that was going to be like the styling route for the poster and stuff like that. And sometimes I really like it when people do local things on local designs and all that sort of stuff, but sometimes I think it just misses a little bit. So I wanted to do that without it being like super obvious, and that's the characters really. So you have like King Eddie, the little circle with the crown on. You've got Knott's Flats, which is the big building with the boxing gloves.
Love Naughty.
Yeah,
He was your favourite, wasn't it?
Right, so there, so yeah, it's amazing.
yeah, and I'm sure like somewhere along our coast outside of a chippy there'll be like a fish bin, right, with its mouth open, and that was the idea behind that. And the idea there was, well, we'll put somebody in the fish bin, and then it had arms and legs, but then didn't draw the head. So now it's just a fish with arms and legs, but yeah, let's do that. So that was the idea behind it all. It's just kind of be like the 90s Hamburglar McDonald's style.
Yeah.
But you know, something that we could all
Like we literally couldn't believe it when it came back. Like you sent us like the first draft, and we were like, "What the fuck?" This was like amazing. I went, "This is exactly what we were."
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't exactly what we were thinking of, because we haven't really got the design-wise,
you
the
should have
creative
seen
mind
my
to think of
sketches.
it. Our sketches were awful. I didn't even present them to Ryan, because I was like,
Wow.
"No, Ryan, just go with it."
The logo itself, like the COASTCAST type logo, is like a it's like an acid skater logo you would get, right? So like 90s Vans type of thing, where you would watch it on like a 1x1 TV screen in between an episode of Scrubs. So like that type of thing, where it's kind of going across a CRT screen to an extent. That type of thing was where that came from. And then I just thought, well, we'll have the characters to try and like embody these mascots that you might have had as a TV's toy brand or something along those lines. But I have to say, like, as while I did the sketches and the ideas and all those sorts of things, I did have a hand off one of my mates, Kate, who helped do like the final versions of the characters, like sent off all the ideas and was like, I'm just not landing with where they were at the time. And then Kate went over them, and I was like, yes, like,
Thank
my
you,
God.
Kate.
Yeah. Kate is got to check out Kate's. I think Kate's Instagram is at Hot Dog Swirls, I think. But Kate's like one of the coolest illustrators ever. Yeah.
Nice one, man. Nice one,
I
man. So
thought when he saw King Eddie, I thought it was a P. I thought it was
P.
peas.
Oh. It is.
Well, yeah,
Well, we were calling it King Peas.
well, you were, I wasn't.
Me and Paul were.
It absolutely is. That was completely 100%.
Yeah, that was exactly what he tried.
We're making the big mascots. I'm like, have you done 2 of King Peas? Yeah, we've done 2 King Peas. There's peas. It's peas.
So you've done like 3 different size printouts and had like peas in a pod.
On a pod.
Yeah.
But we had one of my friends, Paul Reeve, go to Chris's work, and Chris printed them out, and then he like kind of stuck them onto big
Ply.
wooden ply, didn't he?
Plywood,
And then we had them dotted about the site, and they were pretty cool. I'm not sure how much Mystery Jets liked them, because we had them on front and the front bottom one of the speakers. And I noticed when they went on stage, they got moved very quickly. Like,
Oh, really?
Oh, I love them, me.
yeah, but they were cool, man. It gave us like a kind of like identity, and it was just like something a bit different, you know,
It was
because
something to dress the festival site with as well, because I think a lot of the time you kind of forget you need to do that.
yeah,
Well, dotted around, it was lush. Like,
Yeah.
so, like,
yeah, it was cool, man.
Yeah, I
So
love
how long you been doing your design stuff for?
Honestly, not that long.
Oh, really?
I've kind of had like jobs and things doing creative for social for people or whatever, or working on events and things like that. And it wasn't really maybe until, well, I would probably message. This is probably like the first big one that I put myself forward for, rather than someone coming to me, and I was kind of like, I feel like I could do something here, which would be cool.
Yeah.
But maybe it's like 2 years, maybe it's 2 years or so like that. Not a long time at all, really.
Oh, it's amazing that you can come up with
A full brand.
like a body of work of that
Yeah.
quality, having only done it for a couple of years, so well done, man.
It's cool though. It's something that I've always kind of like watched other people do and learned. Like I was at a company for a while where we did a couple of rebrands, and I was kind of part of that process. But the ideas were never mine, and it was always like an outside agency that was brought in and things. And then I was like, that would be a really cool thing to do. So that is kind of where that idea came from. But yeah, that was and probably that when you told me from sort of telling me the idea of what the festival was about to creating or having the idea and then creating where it was at, it probably was a span of maybe like 3 days of just thinking about it for a little bit and thinking sort of mood board and 90s things and what would work in that place, but wasn't quite there yet and hadn't been done, you know. Yeah, it was cool. But I also think like local stuff isn't always dressed the best way, because it's like it's something that you want the event to be as good as possible, but not the brand isn't always valued in that sense. But when you haven't got photography and you haven't got video and you've only got social media to get it off the ground, then you need something that's going to have an impact.
Yeah,
well, that was it. That was it. We literally had no content at the start.
We had no assets to put out there, and trying to ask Abby, who did all our social media for her, trying to ask her to put things out, but without having anything to hand, it was really hard. So then when you started sending things over, we were like, oh god, yes, this is great, and get some promo out.
You guys had such a big steer in it as well, right? Because the first iteration I had the poster, I looked at it yesterday and I was like, that's fucking terrible. It had like
that was me texting John going, can you tell Ryan?
Yeah,
so basically the crack was, right, is, oh, can you ask Ryan if you'll do this? Can you ask Ryan if you'll do that? And I'm like, Rachel, you know Ryan as well.
But your guidance, like, I was talking to John before we did this, like, the guidance is like so key. Like, I love it. The feedback was great because it pushes you in, right, you've created this cool foundation and starting point, and then sometimes you kind of lose the track along the way, so you need everyone else who's in it as well to steer it, right?
Yeah.
But like the character thing that you're saying creates the assets that you've got to post about it. The eventual poster that we made was kind of like a big draped curtain party poster type of Crayola looking thing. So that kind of gave you different things to be able to post about if you wanted to use striped colours or anything like that. And everything that you do with a little bit of depth just means you have a little bit more to put out without having an event there to use.
Yeah. Well, we definitely needed it.
I mean, the amount of times me and Rachel came to you with different ideas and different things what we wanted, what we'd asked you to put together. I mean, I'm so glad you weren't on hourly.
It's just me at 12 o'clock at night going, oh, do you think you could shift that box to the left a little bit? I can't stop thinking about it.
No, but we can't thank you enough. Like, it really brought the festival to life and the brand, and like I say, we're moving on into 2024, and
I'm excited
and potentially other little offshoot events and stuff what we may be putting together. And you're obviously we've already chatted and we're going to work on those. So we're really pleased to have you on board, and we can't thank you enough for doing that.
Thank you for giving me like the space to like take this stupid idea that I had and make it into something that was really, really cool and very like, I don't know, acid skater looking thing for a family fun event.
Nice one. Well, I mean, we've got you on for the full pod this week because you're a multi-talented geezer, because you are also the singer in Club Paradise, who also played at Coast Festival. Were amazing, by the way. You're actually one of the only bands that I managed to watch throughout the whole festival. I watched side stage and it was amazing, like just watching you guys bottle about. So what was your experience of Coast Fest?
It was so good. I don't think there could be a better first year festival to experience than what you had there. Like, from the fact of how you arranged it and organised it, and the day ran super smooth, to the crew on stage who
the crew were amazing. We keep saying this.
Like, it's so weird for us because they really wanted to help out and lift the stuff off and on. But in my head, I was like, it's all right. I'll carry it up.
You're just so used to doing it yourself.
It's so weird.
That's
like,
my guitar lead guy.
Yeah. Excuse me. Do you see that colour tape?
Nice one. So tell us a little bit about how the band came about.
We've been playing since we were in high school. It must have been like 2010 when we were in like year 9 or something like that.
No, I was
year
no, because
9.
I left 2010, and I watched.
So you do know Ryan. You can ask Ryan all of the questions next time.
I know Ryan.
I know, but you know him better than what I thought you knew. We went to
That's why I wasn't going to ask him for his amendments. That's why.
He got me to do it instead.
No, I left in 2010, and I definitely watched you in school.
Yeah, because you were like year 9 for us is September 2009, so we would have started that time around. Do you know what I mean? Like, school years. It's hard,
it's
isn't it?
'cause
It's
I'm
hard,
older,
innit?
that's why.
But you would have left like. Surely you would have left like 2011. They were like
No,
the summer off.
2010.
Were you 2 years above me? Ah, well.
Thanks, Ryan.
Oh, I thought you were only a year above. Sorry.
So you don't know each other that well.
Hey, we were in Fiddler on the Roof together.
I left school when Fiddler on the Roof was a film.
What was the band
I'm
called?
saying
The
no.
original band?
We were
We were
called.
trying to think of this the other day.
Oh, we
I
were
could
called
not
Street
do
Party in Soho.
That's
the
it.
one.
And do you remember Mr.
What a
Hinder,
bad
the DT teacher?
Yes.
He had a big poster on the wall of me and Harry were in his form class, and it was like this huge art exhibition, and it looked mint, and we were like stewing over a name for ages. It didn't matter because we were like 14, but we're like, we've gotta get the best name in the world here, and then chose Street Party in Soho as the best name in the world.
It is a good name. I
Do you
like
know
it.
what? No, I still like it.
Well, we liked it until we had a dressing room for a gig one day, and we were like 16, 17 at this point, and then we had put SPIS on the door. Somebody put SPIS on the door, and we came back. And you know who I think it was Corb from the greeting committee.
Oh yeah, we know
Moved the
Corb.
initials around so it said piss. And then I was like, we're dusted here. Like, so we went under that name for a couple more years, and then we kind of like took some time out. Harry went to China and things, and like to study, and we were just recording like and writing together for this whole time. It must have been like two or 3 years where we just didn't really gig, and Jackson was working in a studio, the YMCA, and we used that time to decide what we wanted to do and stuff, and then maybe it's 2017, 2018-ish, something like that. Renamed the Club Paradise and just started again. Yeah.
So has the writing process always been like a collaborative effort?
Yeah, I think like normally, or in the past when we were like kids, we didn't really write songs for them being good songs. We wrote songs because we really like loads of different melodies and stuff going on. We were always figuring out like how we can make it the most interesting thing when we're younger, and kind of I think over time you learn like, you know, a song is a good song because it's got like a solid vocal melody, it's got that hook and stuff, and you don't necessarily need to be doing everything you want to do all the time. And I don't think the songs were bad when we were kids. I think they were just very immature, and you could hear that we had a lot to learn. And then I think when we kind of came out to where we are now, I'm really proud of the music that we write now.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, you recently did you sell out the Clooney?
We were close.
You were close. Because
yeah.
that was a really big gig for you guys because it was very well attended, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was mint. Thank you. Yeah, that was in July. I think the last headline show we done in Newcastle was at Cobalt Studios.
Okay.
Which was like, I think if I chose a favorite gig of one that I'd played, it would be Cobalt because that was unbelievable. The whole place was bouncing. But then since then this is the first headliner since like the end of COVID, so we waited a little while to do a proper headline show again. And it was just cool. We didn't really push it hard. People on the mailing list, thank you so much to the mailing list people who we have, because people just come out, and we don't. I hate social media these days, so I don't really like. I should post more, but I really can't force myself to do it. So to everyone who did come, like, it means the world.
Well, we had a good chat earlier on about all this and how social media is very difficult to promote yourself on because it's that diluted with so many other different bands and where the algorithms are. And you were just stressing how important the mailing list was to your band for that particular show.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, we also had two bands on who were amazing at the Clooney. Diago, it was like their second gig under that name, I think, and then Wild Spelks, who Johnny is like my favourite songwriter in the world. He's amazing, and if you haven't checked out Wild Spelks, you absolutely need to. But yeah, social media and stuff, hate it, the worst. But it's cool to have it's cool to have a mailing list, because if we do a run of merch, a run of t-shirts, they sell out really, really quickly.
Yeah.
Like, we're no one, but we can pay to do recording because we have a really cool mailing list following to do gigs with and sell merch. So it's really, really
amazing,
fun.
man. But speaking of social media and things like Spotify, where can people listen to your music or find your pages?
So everything. The handle everywhere is This Is Club Paradise, except for Twitter, or X, sorry, which is Club Paradise _, because they didn't let you have that many characters. And then all of the music is on everywhere, every platform you can find song, just under Club Paradise. Yeah.
Spot on, and I think we're going to hear one of your tunes now.
I'm proper gutted that I missed, you know. I remember, you know what I mean?
John
But
was
I
on
haven't
the
s-
bus
yeah,
for
where
the
I
whole
was
weekend.
elsewhere setting fires and stuff. So,
Do you know when the promo video came out about the whole thing? And I texted him, I went, what's that song? And he was like, oh, it's Club Paradise. I was like, I watched them. I know this song. I watched it. I thought, it like, proper earworm. Like, yeah.
It is. I mean, Ryan and Suter Max put together our like end of festival video. Which was instrumental in us getting our crowdfunding as well. That really, really helped. But Ryan messaged going, "Oh, like, do you want like a song behind it?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know." I went, "Oh, just stick one of your own on." But I've got the song like permanently stuck in my head. You know, it is a proper
so
earworm.
cheeky doing that.
Fair play though.
Why
Fair
not?
I was
play.
just like Jackson shredding. There's a shot of this guy's hair like swinging around in slow motion while Jackson's on like an absolute ripper solo. I was like, this is the perfect thing.
No, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. But anyway, yeah, music. Want to play the song?
Yeah, sure.
Good stuff.
Actually, do you want to pick one, or do you want me to play a new one?
You can pick. You can do whatever you
Up to
want.
you.
Play a new one, man.
I'll play a new one, alright. Play one called Yes. Hey, I'm Ryan from Club Paradise, and this is a new song called Yes. Held you tight in a sundress. Nothing burns like a cigarette. My mind needs a little time to decompress. All of the questions that surround my youth and my fear of being just no good. Honey, I swear I'm fine most of the time. I wanna know who calls if it's evil on the phone, asking what I ever did so wrong in the years when I was younger. In the years when I was younger. Get in line, get a life or less. You're nothing special, I'm not holding my breath for the first time. I'm doing fine, I'm not falling over all of my lines. I wanna know who calls if it's evil on the phone, asking what I ever did so wrong in the years when I was younger. In the years when I was younger. Thinking back in a daydream, down in my bones I cringe, I swear. I've got a tendency to judge myself when I was 9, like anyone cares. But all of the questions that surround my mind, and it's not for the first time. And I struggle 'cause it's hard to find some kind of peace of mind. I wanna know who calls if it's evil on the phone, asking what I ever did so wrong in the years when I was younger. In the years when I was younger. Cheers.
Thank you very much, Ryan. That was absolutely brilliant. Well
Yeah,
done.
lush,
That
cheers,
was
man. Thank you.
Really good. The last 2 questions that we always ask our artists here on the COASTCAST. First of which is, this is your opportunity to tell us what you've got like coming up in the future.
Yeah, sure. So the next gig that we're playing is at the Grove. We haven't been at the Grove yet, so that's exciting. We're playing with the Red Room, who were on it.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
quality.
nice.
So looking forward to that one. And I think there's another band on there called Idle Hands or Idle, something like that. Sorry guys, I'm really bad at that. I mean, no disrespect. But yeah, we're doing that. But then also, really, really cool, we're playing like a metal festival, which I don't understand.
I know.
But like, it's gonna be really funny. So we're just deciding, like, do we do... Actually, I can't say. I can't say because we're going to take it really seriously, right? We're going to play full on indie pop. But yeah, no, we're doing those. And we just finished recording a 6-track EP, which that song is going to be on. And it's being mixed and mastered at the minute. And we don't know when it's going to come out. But yeah, that's what's coming up next in releases.
Nice. I'm looking forward to hearing that.
And then lastly then, for you, is describe your experience of Coast Fest 23 in 3 words.
From a designer point of view, total and utter madness.
Oh, now I
And
feel bad.
as a band point of view?
I mean that in the best
way.
way because like the design was just so fun to do, and it just felt a bit chaotic and mad, but I loved it.
It was chaotic.
It's mint though, isn't it? It's mint.
Brilliant.
Good
Thank
stuff.
you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for coming in. Appreciate it.
Cheers, thanks for having me.